Looks like we're heading into Checkmate. Now, Anon posts says Q is not from the future or a fancy AI supercomputer. It is a group of less than 10 people, mostly military. Even if the plan was run through a computer program to test it, the plan was mapped out by people. Look at how everything rolled out. Trump decided to run for president and all kinds of information started dropping. Anthony Weiner's laptop, DNC email leak, Hillary Clinton's private server, Obama sending $1.7 billion in cash on an unmarked plane to Iran, Obamagate, most importantly, Pizzagate, was uncovered in the leaked emails. That's more than just politics. It's an all-out attack on the system. Trump was able to win in the same rigged system that installed Obama. They never thought she would lose. At Trump's inauguration, the military walked up and stood behind him. There was military intelligence and JAG in the group. After all that, the Q pops up. Does all that seem like coincidence or a plan? The cabal is proof that a small group of people can manipulate nations. That means it's possible for a small group of people to map out a plan to wake up the world, and all they needed was an army of people to kill the narrative and combat the propaganda. Welcome to the storm. My favorite for a March 3rd Delta is the one where he says, at what stage in the game do you play the Trump card? Upcoming Deltas, along with comms, warrant a heightened situational awareness. We are on high alert. Stay vigilant. Full-scale attack. March Madness. Prepare. Q. March Madness incoming. Now, listen to this.
Some sound. This is from Jonathan Gillum. He's a former FBI special agent, and he said the following here. Watch this.
Well, we should all be concerned all the time, but not paranoid. We should be aware. And I think battling that paranoia by increasing our awareness is something that we should all do. I think we're on the precipice of a potential of either Islamic attacks or not even homegrown Islamic, but literally leftist attacking for the sake of Islam.
Alert level here. I want to play some sound. This is from Jonathan Gillum. He's a former FBI special agent, and he said the following here. Watch this.
Well, we should all be concerned all the time, but not paranoid. We should be aware. And I think battling that paranoia by increasing our awareness is something.
And then, of course, there's this. 20 CIA and FBI agents have confirmed and testified that Obama, an ex-CIA director, fabricated the Russia hoax and hid it in CIA vaults for 10 years to undermine Trump's election via manipulated intel. This is a Fox News report. Take a listen.
Gabbard got her hands on a House intel report that's been locked away in a CIA vault for almost a decade. Investigators spent over 2,000 hours looking into how the Russia hoax was born, interviewing 20 CIA and FBI officials. And it turns out that the Obama administration doctored the intelligence to make it look like Putin and Trump stole the election. A month after Trump beat Hillary, Barack Obama wasn't satisfied with his intelligence reporting and ordered his CIA director to create a new assessment of how Russia interfered with the election. This was a highly unusual move. John Brennan handpicked 5 CIA analysts to write the assessment, and they were siloed. None of them knew what the other was doing. And only one analyst was in charge of drafting this report. There was nothing routine about this, and it was a rush job to publish before Trump was sworn in. Nothing was coordinated with the other intelligence agencies either. Basically, this was home cooking for Barack Obama. There were 4 key elements from the assessment that were repeated over and over again and formed the basis of the Russia hoax and the Robert Mueller witch hunt. 1, that Vladimir Putin wanted Donald Trump to win. 2, Putin took action to help Trump win. 3, the Russians had blackmail on Trump. That was the Steele dossier. And 4, that the Russians tried colluding with the Trump campaign. None of any of this was ever true. There was no reliable intelligence to support any of these allegations. Senior CIA officials repeatedly refused to traffic in these allegations, but they were repeatedly overruled by CIA Director Brennan and FBI Director Comey, who insisted that they be pushed, even without verifiable evidence. The Obama administration cherry-picked the intelligence, lied about their sources, misquoted sources, didn't corroborate their claims, suppressed intelligence that ran counter to their narratives, and even used anonymous internet postings. Rank and file CIA admitted what they were doing violated their own tradecraft standards. There was a massive pressure campaign that came right from the top. CIA analysts say they received unusual directives from political appointees, the CIA director, and Obama himself. This is how the Russia hoax was born.
Donald Trump knows that the Russians helped him win in 2016.
Putin hated Secretary Clinton so much that the flip side of that coin was he had a clear preference for the person running against the person he hated so much.
It was Russia, in a very systematic way, tried to interfere in the election and to try to advance the prospects of Donald Trump being elected.
This was such a malicious disinformation campaign perpetrated on the American people that at one point, 60% of Democrats believed the Russians hacked our voting machines to help Trump win the White House. What this report actually shows is that the Russians just wanted to create chaos and undermine Americans' faith in democracy. Solid intelligence suggested that Vladimir Putin didn't care who won. He had no preference. But like most people, expected Hillary to win and had a little docket of compromising dirt on her, dirt that he never released. Now, if Putin wanted Trump to win, why didn't Putin drop the dirt?
There were high-level DNC emails that detailed evidence of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers.
And we still need to find out who killed Seth Rich. Never forget.
Then CIA Director Brennan and the intelligence community mischaracterized intelligence and relied on dubious substandard sources to create a contrived false narrative that Putin developed a quote-unquote clear preference for Trump.
Now, if Clinton was on tranquilizers like the Russians believed, why didn't they leak it to help Trump win?
How credible was the information about Hillary Clinton's power?
All I have seen is what the intelligence committee have reported through their investigation. I think the underlying point there is that we understand from intelligence what Russia said that they had. And the important point here is that if they were trying to influence the election, as President Obama and James Clapper and John Brennan, everybody said they were doing in order to support Donald Trump's election, they would have released the most damning of that information.
Obama and his spy chiefs knew that Putin didn't prefer Trump over Hillary, but they cooked the intelligence to make it look like he did. Obama and his intel spies knew that Putin didn't collude with Trump and that he didn't even direct his people to help Trump win, but they put it out there anyway. In a sense, Barack Obama did exactly what Putin wanted, undermined Americans' faith in free and fair elections and caused chaos in our country.
Caused chaos indeed. And I want you to look at this face closely, because no matter how smooth of a talker he is in public, this man is seditious and treasonous to our country. He does not love America. And there's plenty of proof coming out to back up my statement.
Barack Obama, the CIA, and the FBI were the ones doing what our enemy wanted.
Do you believe that any of this new information implicates former President Obama in criminal behavior?
We have referred and will continue to refer all of these documents to the Department of Justice and the FBI to investigate the criminal implications of this.
For even former President Obama?
Correct. The evidence that we have found and that we have released directly point to President Obama leading the manufacturing of this intelligence assessment. There are multiple pieces of evidence and intelligence that confirm that fact.
Even 2 years later, after the election, Barack Obama was still pushing a hoax he knew wasn't true. And he knew it wasn't true because he helped manufacture it.
They're undermining our alliances, cozying up to Russia. What happened to the Republican Party? They're cozying up to the former head of the KGB. Actively blocking legislation that would defend our elections from Russian attack. What happened?
Now, I don't know if it's possible to indict a former president for actions he took while in office. I'm not a lawyer, proudly. But Brennan, Comey, and others may have severe liability. Trey Gowdy says we know for a fact that Brennan committed perjury.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. He better be able to be prosecuted for this because that was treason.
When he lied to Congress.
Director Brennan, do you know who commissioned the Steele dossier?
I don't.
You know if the Bureau ever relied on the Steele dossier as part of any court filings, applications?
I have no awareness.
Did the CIA rely on it?
No,
Why not?
because we didn't. It wasn't part of the corpus of intelligence information that we had. It was not in any way used as a basis for the intelligence community assessment that was done.
Let me just tell you about this traitorous son of a bitch right here. Because this is the man who managed to help John McCain fake Barack Obama's birth certificate and make him look legal to become president. And all of that is going to be coming out soon as well. These people are seditious, treasonous traitors to our country. And the only thing that they love in life, in my opinion, is power and money.
It was not.
No, that's a lie. Whatever happens to these guys is not revenge. It's accountability. And it's time for people to pay the price. Fox News alert.
Absolutely. They all need to pay the price. 100%. And I am looking forward to that happening. I hope we find accountability for everything that the CIA has done to our country and our people, all the way back to the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, up to present date. And I hope that they also finally make a big stink about the CIA being directly connected to the murder and assassination of a sitting president, John F. Kennedy. Things are picking up, folks. And justice is on the menu. We have breaking news out the wazoo, you guys. All right, first, up front and center. This is something that should be on mainstream news all over the place, but it's not, because President Trump stuns the world by bringing the leader of the Benghazi attack to America. Will there finally be justice for what Hillary did? Let's take a look. Let's just watch that one more time. This is our military helping the man down the stairs. He's clearly shaking all over. He is terrified, as he should be, because if he is truly responsible for what happened in Benghazi, he should absolutely be shitting his pants right now, because justice is coming. Now, in other news, Kristi Noem just testified before Congress, and I looked this up. This is a true fact. Kristi Noem just testified under oath that the Biden regime was paying child traffickers to sponsor unaccompanied minors across the border. If you've been paying attention, this isn't surprising. We knew this was happening, but the fact that she's testifying under oath, that means something big is getting ready to go down, guys. March Madness is getting ready to go into full swing. And what a perfect day for all of this to happen when it's the first day of the lunar eclipse. And this heading says, holy crap, Kristi Noem just testified under oath that the Biden regime was paying child traffickers to sponsor unaccompanied minors coming across the border. Mayorkas and Biden should be in prison for this. The government was paying individuals that were knowingly trafficking them and abusing them. That has to stop. That has stopped. Unaccompanied alien children were lost by the Biden administration, not tracked. We've located about 145,000 of them. Now, I can tell you for a fact that this did happen. That yes, the current Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, testified at a Senate hearing on March 3rd, 2026, and made claims that the Biden administration's policies essentially led to child trafficking. Specifically, Noem stated, the Biden administration paid adults to take custody of children, and many of those adults subsequently trafficked the children in their custody. Over 400,000 children were, quote unquote, lost or went missing under Biden's border policy. Noem claimed that in 1 year under the Biden administration, over 125,000 children were trafficked. across the border. Now, you know how they're having a big stink about ICE and trying to defund ICE? Well, this is the truth of why.
President Trump's, in 1 year, we have located 145,000 of these children. Not all of them were in danger. Some were just with the family hiding out. But many were in sex trafficking, being sold for sex. Many of them were in forced labor. President Trump has saved thousands of lives. We got more work to do. President Trump's, in 1 year, we have located 145,000 of these children. Not all of them were in danger. Some were just with the family hiding out. But many were in sex trafficking, being sold for sex. Many of them were in forced labor. President Trump has saved thousands of lives. We got more work to do. President Trump's, in 1 year, we have located.
Now, do you understand that? They were either sold for sex or sold for child labor under the Biden administration, the Biden regime. Now, you can think what you want about our president, but people need to think with common sense when it comes to ICE and letting them do their job, because these men and women are out there saving children's lives. Children. You need to think about what you're doing. You have no clue what is really going on behind the scenes if you don't like ICE. You have no clue. All you're doing is sitting around listening to mainstream media. Please wake up and pay attention. We are all on the same side here. We all want the children to be safe, and we all want our country to be safe. And in other news, Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton just testified on what they know about Epstein and claimed that they barely know him. Yet this is a picture of Bill and Hillary way back in the day with good old Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, that was from their college days. This is before either one of them were ever even into politics. So tell me that they don't have these people planted in place to do certain jobs. And then, ironically, Cheryl Mills, the lady that is representing both Bill and Hillary in these subpoenaed depositions, the woman that was advising both Clintons to their depositions last week is the same woman that once emailed Hillary about sacrificing a chicken to Moloch in her backyard. Unclassified U.S. Department of State case number F-214-20439, document number C05764911, dated July 31st of 2015, with fingers crossed, the old rabbit's foot out of the box in the attic. I will be sacrificing a chicken in the backyard to Moloch. This is per WikiLeaks emails that belonged to Hillary. Also, as of today, they allegedly have released all of the Clinton tapes from the depositions. I believe that to be true. Not transcripts, not summaries, but the actual video footage so that you can see and hear for yourself how they answered the questions, which in my opinion was despicable. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like March Madness has just picked up. Stay tuned and stay positive. Big things are happening, and I can't wait to see what else pops off for the month of March. Love you.